Yeah, they really enjoyed that.
Well, good morning again, everyone.
Good morning.
How was breakfast? Good. We can keep DJ's California Catering again?
Yep.
All right, excellent. Well, for those of you that I don't have not had the pleasure of personally meeting, my name is Tracy Sisson Phillips. I'm the CEO of the Hueneme Chamber of Commerce. And as I scanned the room, I think I managed to get everybody this morning. So I'm not as delinquent as I thought I was. Would like to take a quick opportunity to introduce a few people that are with us here today. From the city of Port Hueneme, we have Councilmember Tom Figg. And I will, just to let Tom off the hook, remind everybody that in the city of Port Hueneme from May to September we have our casual Hawaiian attire. So for those of you that are wondering what happened to his suit and tie, he is in the uniform of the day for the city. Also, a former mayor of the city of Port Hueneme, Mr. Orby Carpenter. And former mayor pro tem, Mr. Jim Daniels. Representing Congresswoman Julia Brownlee, we have Ms. Sandra Delgado. And of course, we have with us this morning Supervisor Kathy Long. Who we will be getting to hear more about and from shortly. And also from her office, Ms. Lauren Bianchi-Clement. Special thanks to my board of directors that are here today, Mr. Wilbur from the Port of Hueneme. Carinoso from Ventura County Credit Union, and Mr. Ron Qualls. Special thanks to to those three individuals for your continued support of me and our ongoing efforts to help bolster the community and the business environment in the city of Port Hueneme. Well, we are honored today to have with us presenting the annual State of the County address, Supervisor Kathy Long, our district representative for District 3. She's also the chair of the Board of Supervisors this year. Kind of sad, I'm sure everybody's heard the news that Kathy will not be seeking re-election next year. Certainly understand, and my first opportunity to publicly and personally say, you are going to be so missed. But the good news is, yes. The good news is that's 18 months away before anything happens, so I'm sure there's going to be lots of good things coming out of District 3 as she ends her tenure, and we do get to have you one more time come back and speak. I was talking to Lauren this morning and mentally indexing the calendar. Oh, we do get to do this again, so this won't, I don't get to say the words that I really passed my list as far as I did in the last. So without further ado, former president of the Camarillo Chamber of Commerce, huge business advocate, huge advocate for the city of Port Hueneme, not just at the county, but at the state level. Proud to know her personally and professionally, Supervisor Kathy Long.
Thank you, Lauren. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. And thank you, as always, it's good to come once a year and be able to give you an update on the state of the county and to see all of you and to celebrate with you this wonderful city of the city of Port Hueneme. I'm trying, Tom, Councilman, to be in the theme here in a little bit of, but the hat is because the theme of my presentation this morning. And as Tracy said, yes, I have announced that I am not running for re-election. I've been working with the county since 1991. So when I stepped down in December of 2016, it'll be 26 years. Wow. 20 years as the elected office holder, though. So I don't want a long goodbye. It's just, I felt it was important to make the announcement because the seat hasn't been open in 20 years, to allow for folks who really want to step up and reach out to you and offer to be your next supervisor, so you have plenty of time to assess that and hear from the many candidates I expect will be announced in the next few months. The theme of my presentation this morning is in it to finish it. Hence the horse race. I love the Belmont. I love the horses such an exciting year. So I want to say, always good to be here. Councilman, good to see you. Each and every one of you are important to the city of Fort Hueneme, valuable to what makes it such a great, great city. I want to say again, let's start out that, and also Lauren Yankee Clemens, who's my communications press go-to person. She helps me with all of this. She does a great job in getting me prepared. She always suggests that I should practice more. I say, yeah. So it was earlier this month that a close friend of mine, my manicurist, and women in the room, you know, you become close friends with your manicurist over many years, right? She texted me and said she had a special opportunity to go to the Belmont, and I was so excited for her because it's, you know, quite the last leg of the Triple Crown. And I said, oh, that'll be great fun, and you know, and have fun, and talk to you when you get back. And well, of course, I'm watching it, and then of course the great result. So I'm texting her and saying, how exciting, you were there to see history. And she said she cried, she was so excited. Horse loves races. Anyway, so she made that last minute decision to go to Belmont, and it was to watch the super horse American Pharoah chase history. And it really was a history-making day for those of you who are familiar with the Triple Crown. First horse ever, first horse in nearly 4 decades, and now an even dozen horses that hold that title of Triple Crown horse, so pretty remarkable. So it does remind us of how changes in history can be made in a blink of an eye, in seconds of a remarkable race, and it was certainly an awe-inspiring, beautiful horse and a jockey who accomplished this with both excitement and confidence, and they obviously entered it, and they said they were in it to finish it. So it was exciting horse race. And just as with the Triple Crown of horse racing, I'll say our county supervisor role is a Triple Crown of responsibilities. And I think every time I talk to the public, someone will say, well, what's the supervisor do? What's your responsibilities? And I'll say it's 3 things: health, welfare, and public safety. Those are our key responsibilities. Obviously, under those, there are many, many departments. There are over 8,800 county employees, so it's a very big organization, but those are our key responsibilities. So if you listen to sports commentators and professional bettors speaking following any major horse race, you hear 3 primary facets that factored into a horse race: the jockey, the horse, and the track. And health, welfare, public safety, and Jerry Brown said, and he did say this, smart bettors bet on jockeys. So there's Jerry looking his best. In the California legislators, everything that the county, 99% of what the county does really comes as directions from the state, programs and services, and a lot of the funding streams. So Jerry Brown has really been, for us, I think, one of our better governors, because he really understands county government. He gets it. He knows what our responsibilities are. He knows how the funding streams flow. And he's really been very supportive of county government in his tenure so far. And that's really very much appreciated. He has, as the state legislators have moved to adopt their budget, which did occur. He has been credited with relentlessly addressing the wall of debt in California. And there's we all agree there's a wall of debt. And the governor has worked very closely to keep a tight conservative hand on the budget and to really move things forward for the state. He has expressed an understanding again of counties and how we are linked to them, and as I said, has been very helpful to our county, and that he has actually moved and acted on to pay us back, which for years we doubted whether that IOU would ever be paid back, and at one point it was up to $30 million. It was under an old shifting of revenue that occurred in the early 1991 with the realignments that occurred. So we actually had an IOU with the state for over $30 million. And although we're an urban county, we're not an LA or an Orange County, but that was a lot of money to us. Well, in the May revised, they agreed to start paying us back. And this year, we'll get over $18 million of repayment from the state. And this was triggered because under a 2004 law on state mandates, it said two things. It said the state government cannot pass rules down to the local government that are unfunded mandates. And it also said that they have to pay us back at some point. So they agreed to do so. And the governor really led the charge. So the governor and the state, although there's a budget that's been passed, there's still some negotiations going on with some outstanding issues at the state level between the legislators who had a little higher budget request than the governor's was. $117 billion in general fund spending, that's the state budget. $2.2 billion larger than the governor's proposal is what the state legislators are asking for. And so what they are negotiating over yet is the Medi-Cal provider rates, the repeal of the maximum family grant rule, and additional funds for CalWORK's housing support programs, increasing child care and availability of slots for child care in our community, in all communities, which really is severe. We have a great need for child care slots. And also funding for dependency attorneys for foster children. Again, this governor recognized what the county responsibilities are, and I think he's taken a great step, and the legislators will work to finalize these last pieces on the table that they're negotiating over, and they'll move forward. So now we'll move to the county budget and give you the general picture of what we do with your tax dollars. For over a half decade now, the county has hit our stride with budget proceedings. We really have taken year to year to year to structurally balance the budget. So there's no smoke and mirrors, no moving the shelves around. We have a structurally balanced budget. It hasn't always been smooth, and I certainly emphasize with the cities, Fort Hueneme, Oxnard, Santa Paula, who are working hard to make sure that you balance your budget and bring in what you need to do, and sometimes that has some pain attached to it. And I'll remind people back in 2000, when the board's budget wasn't so good, our reserves were down to 1%. We had to lay off 260 county employees. They're tough times, and some of the cities are still struggling with pieces of that as a result of loss of redevelopment dollars and a variety of things. I read this morning Santa Paula did settle their budget with a $10,000 buffer. That's not a lot, but it's $10,000, so they did settle their budget. And I want to also thank the city. Earlier this year, the community was in discussions with the city regarding the Boys and Girls Club, the Oxford Fort Hueneme Boys and Girls Club. And the city knew they were looking at tough times, but they, at the end of the day, realized that there's great value in investing in the Boys and Girls Club and continuing to support them. So I really appreciated that the council members, and I know Council Member Craig and Council Member Jim Hensley were very strong leaders in that. And Doug agrees, it takes three, right? But that's great. The Boys and Girls Club will prosper, and I think it will give an opportunity for folks to rally around and lend greater support for the Boys and Girls Club in this community. We have, with the, I was going to say the 50-year relationship with the Boys and Girls Club, that in itself says we need to continue to support them. So our budget was passed, and it is structurally balanced, as I said, and it is what I refer to as a good news budget. The total budget appropriations are $2.03 billion. That's with a B. Approximately $365 million of that is general fund dollars. Increased investments in healthcare, public safety, and safety net services for children and adults. Public safety remains a priority. It is still 54% of our overall budget. We have $8.2 million general fund increase in contributions to public safety this year. And we also increased our reserves. We are now up over 13%. And as I said, in 2000, we were down to 1% reserves. So we have made great progress. And that is up to over $130 million. It's the highest level in the county history, at least certainly since the 90s. We maintain the highest credit rating for a county our size of any in the state of California. We have a Standard & Poor's AAA, a Moody's A1, a Fitch A+, and our investment portfolio received the highest government investment pool ratings possible by Standard & Poor's. Only 6 pools in the United States have a similar pool rating. So we have a strong investment portfolio. The budget results, the county remains committed to our strategic plan and our multiple year finance forecast. Our county's done well to recognize the value of human capital throughout our departments, and we've added value through both innovation and through our workforce and supporting the opportunities for our workforce to improve their skill sets. Our Lean Six Sigma program, which was launched about 3-4 years ago, is now, we're seeing $24 million in ongoing savings. And the employees have fully embraced that. And Lean Six basically says if you have a process in your department that you handle, let's say, 1,000 pieces of paper. The teams got together, looked at that process, and narrowed it down to, in some cases, to 1 piece of paper. So it's process focused, and it's saying how can we do a better job in looking at streamlining that process. So $24 million in ongoing savings in that Lean Six, and that is a piece now of our culture, and it's something that the board CEO reports to us every year. I would get presentations from departments when they reach certain levels of success, and it's very, very important to continue doing it. We've also implemented ongoing changes. We required under the Public Employees Pension Reform Act, and all of our employees, bargaining tables have stepped up to share in achieving that success of reaching a 50-50 sharing of the pension. Because of our employees' collaborative efforts, we've been able to maintain our current service levels and to expand investments in critical areas of service in our county. For example, in healthcare, we've been able to increase our hours in all of our behavioral health department, adult clinics, and our family therapy services. Mental health has really come to the top of our priorities to look at how can we get those folks who have mental illness, who are incarcerated in our jails and represent now probably 30% of that incarcerated population. What can we do to help them to run when they get out of serving their time, that we offer stronger services for them? And also we're moving ahead to offer stronger services for our adolescent youth who are struggling with mental illnesses. A lot of good things coming in the next year on all of those areas. Our ongoing increased responsibilities that are part of our budget, still certainly the public safety realignment, referred to as AB 109 and under Prop 47, is still rolling out, and there's still some pain and anxiety with the law enforcement professionals on how we are, as a community, succeeding with that, reaching out to folks to keep them out of our jails and our prisons, and also working with the folks who are getting released from our jails and prisons so they don't recidivate into them. So that's the community mission, and we're actually having success with it. It will be an ongoing working communication with a lot of folks around the table. The Affordable Care Act, of course, has been successfully rolled out, and we are a big part of that as we're a major health care provider and deliverer of services. As I said, our mental health services will continue to bring challenges to us, both through Laura's Law and the KDA settlement, and I can talk to you later if you want more information on what those mean, but basically it says we've got to do a better job of treating our children with mental illness and being fair to the adults who are struggling with mental illness. Social services and areas of adult protective services, children and family services, those are all under our umbrella of what does the county do. Other key items in the budget, county rates and fees remained maintained at current levels with only slight increases in some areas. Funding to incorporate the Affordable Care Act has been committed to. Capital investments such as upgrading the sheriff's dispatch services. Increased customer convenience like the development of county mobile apps. You can go onto the county website and you'll see there are some fun apps that you can put on your mobile device. One is Environmental Health Division called Ventura County Safe Beaches, so you can check every day if you want to go to the beach. Is it water clean? Can we go in? Doesn't tell you whether there's sharks out there or not. And Ventura County Safe Diner. We want to look to see, okay, I'm going to go to a new restaurant, how are they doing? Have they been reported to Ventura County Environmental Health Department? All on the county's website. So how do we spend your tax dollars? We recently introduced the county's transparency website, enhancing access and transparency so residents can easily see where your revenues go, where they come from and where they go, and how they're used to deliver all of these programs. The site can be accessed by visiting the county's website at ventura.org, clicking on how we spend your tax dollars and going directly to Ventura County ca.gov.com, and you really can get all you ever want to know about the county budget, how the revenues come in, how the monies are appropriated, how it's spent. So we have what I think is a growing and strong economy. Horse racing may be considered a sport, but it's also clearly a business. One can only imagine the adrenaline behind horse racing. In fact, I learned that despite American Pharoah's training and talent and what a thoroughbred horse he is, he was outfitted with earplugs this past year to keep him focused and relaxed. I thought, well, if that works for him, I'll try that at my next board meeting. Over the years of training and experience, American Pharoah's strengths and weaknesses were dissected, and hence they were able to figure out what it was that made that horse run and made him so successful. Our local economy, since the recession, has also experienced its own dissection. We've all had many conversations around our chamber tables about what can we do. I think in the last probably 8 years, it's what can we do to keep our businesses here. We're finally starting to hear some conversation about how can we attract businesses here, and what do we need to make sure they have the support they need in the skilled workforce, and streamlining of government processes and opportunities for dollars or grants and anything that we as a not just the county but all the municipalities have an economic development focus, and it's important that we continue to have that. So we do agree that it is not a spectator sport, and how we're going to move ahead is that do some of those things I just said. The county's labor market report continues to look positive. It's the second straight month in a row that Ventura County has hit the lowest unemployment rate since 2008. Our county ranks 14th in unemployment out of California's 58 counties. So we're doing well in the lowest unemployment rate. The Economic Development Collaborative of Ventura County, of which the City of Port Hueneme is a participant, they certainly have put out various reports, and it's not yet a healthy economy, but we are stronger. The most notable things affecting our health is that construction remains far behind the pre-recession levels, so we're not seeing that boom yet. Businesses in several key sectors continue to struggle to find skilled employees. That's a very serious issue, and working closely with our education community, we need to continue to figure out how are we going to continue to grow that future workforce. In many ways, there's positive momentum in Ventura County to help resolve the gaps with our skilled workforce, such as through the Ventura County Office of Education and the Oxnard Union High School District, where they were working on linked learning. That I think is a very positive model for them to work with and on. The school districts are establishing visionary partnerships with local businesses, including the Navy, to orchestrate career pathways for students that translate into skills that make them ready for jobs today and in the future. In addition to those efforts, my role as chair of the board and co-chair of the Regional Defense Partnership for the 21st Century. We have supported opportunities to really look how we can help our naval base Ventura County to have the workforce it needs. Very proud that Assemblymember Jackie Irwin was able to secure $500,000 to start up funding for an engineering school at CSUCI. The naval base Ventura County, if we have one presentation every month, we always hear the need for the skilled workforce and for engineers. So very happy that Jackie was able to secure that. Our naval base is home to more than 17,000 military, federal, civilian, and contracting employees, including more than 80 defense contractors. So it's important that we get the talent that's needed to keep that industry strong. As I said, we continue to hear that they are reaching out to hire over 100 engineers for Naval Base Ventura County. So you can go to usa.gov, I think is the website, if you have a young person or someone looking for a job change, has those skills, and they are hiring engineers. Other important things we do with economic development is our partnership. The board is a member too of the Economic Development Collaborative. And this past year in November, the Collaborative commissioned a study to be done, and it's Community Economic Development Focused Study called SEDS. And it was really to look at how we can promote sustainable employment opportunities, housing choices, agriculture, open space, natural resources. What are the gaps? What are the needs in the county? All those things that are important to a strong economy. And the strategies identified that one of our county's greatest assets is derived from communities with distinct identities. And the city of Fort Wayne is really moving ahead with that and bringing in the farmers market and the Hueneme Beach Sunset Supper and all of the activities you do. That establishes a distinct identity. And people who are now on that technology looking, saying, where can I go have fun this weekend, pops up. And that is important to all communities. The Workforce Investment Board of Ventura County, known as the WIB, they're changing their name because Congress decided they would change their name, and so now it's going to be the WIOLA. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act of 2015. It is the first legislative reform, I'll say, of the public workforce system in more than 15 years, and it really was passed by bipartisan policy. The biggest difference is that it focuses on job preparation for in-demand jobs, meeting the demands of employers for that skilled workforce, versus job placement. So it's going to do that, reach out to see what we need to prepare folks. The WIB is prepared for this transition. Many of our cutting-edge workforce development initiatives are becoming a law under this new act. Will Berg sits on the WIB, so he knows this probably far better than I'm expressing it this morning, but it's very important that they do this work. We'll continue to work with them to encourage employers and job seekers and youth to take advantage of that work of the WIB, and they have, again, they focus on youth who need job skills, and the adults who may also need some job skill training, but also what the opportunities are for on-the-job training, job shadowing, and work experience. So kudos to Ventura, to the WIB, and to the state. The state recently recognized the WIB as a high-performing board in the entire state of California, and that's outstanding. This high-profile reputation will open doors and leverage more resources and grants and help to make their work stronger and opportunities stronger. So thank you, Will, for serving on that. Also wanted to acknowledge Congresswoman Jody Brownlee. She announced that our WIB was one of 20 boards in the nation to receive a $500,000 grant from the Department of Labor to create a specialized job center to reduce employment barriers for incarcerated individuals transitioning into the community and the workforce to prevent that recidivism. That is so very important, as I mentioned earlier, in our challenges to really work with what is the downsizing of our state prison in population and getting these folks back into the community, but doing so safely, but doing so with job training and skills and opportunities. So thank you, Congresswoman. Port of Hueneme, strong economic engine. I supported a letter, as many did throughout the county from the cities, to support the port's application for a Tiger grant. I do need coffee. Tiger grant. Ventura County transportation needs are vital to the region and certainly vital to the success of the port. As being a member of the Transportation Commission and on the board, we again supported their application for over a $15 million federal grant. This will bring them the opportunity to to take the responsibility they have with over $1 billion budget of economic activity and over 10,000 trade-related jobs to really move that forward in their mission. Excited about the opportunities for the port. I think that modernizing the wharf and berth infrastructure, this is what the project scope will be for the Tiger Grant, balancing new waterfront capability and maximizing existing capacities and extend rail access to reduce truck demand and congestion. So they're successful getting the county mission statement, while economic vitality, and you can see it there, is a significant driving force behind the health of our region. The conditions in the environment where we live play equally and influence what opportunities our citizens have. Our county and our employees work tirelessly to recognize and respond to the needs, working to certainly foster a great environment in which we can all work, live, and play. While we engage in economic development initiatives, investing in state-of-the-art technology for our libraries, responding to emergencies, celebrating significant milestones in history, and supporting our full mission to ensure that all residents have the opportunity to thrive in the quality of life that is vital for them. A couple local updates I'll give you. Speaking of our libraries, there you are, Bernadette and Kathy from the Friends. Thank you so much for what you do for the Fort Rady Kruger County Library. It's certainly one of my favorites. It's just a beautiful library. It's such a friendly place for children and adults to enjoy. I know next month, I believe it is, Tracy, you're going to have Jackie Griffin, who's our library director, come here to speak with you about the business resources and opportunities for businesses in our Ventura County library system, of which there are many. But did you know that 25% of adults in Ventura County have less than an 8th grade reading capacity, which means 25% of our residents are not business literate. So that's a job we have to do with our libraries, and that's what we will work on. So the exciting things that happen in our library that Jackie may not touch on, but I get to jump on because I'm here first, is that we have a summer reading program. And that summer reading program is going to, the board approved just yesterday that they're going to have a little competition to encourage our young children to read. And there'll be a notebook, an e-book given to all 12 of our libraries, and the kid who reads the most gets that as a reward at the end of the summer. So that's fun, that's exciting. Beginning next fall, every kid in the Hueneme School District will receive student cards for the Ventura County Library. Yay! Which means access to all of our system's e-books. This is the first school district in the county to embark on this initiative, and it's a good partnership that links our Hueneme School District technology efforts around e-books. So congratulations to the school district. Visioning for the Ray D. Kruger Library, strategizing how to increase access and partnership with the Hueneme Senior Center, and enhancing opportunities for residents we'll be working on also. Our budget approved the library system joining the Corporation for Education Network Initiatives in California. And it's a broadband network. And it's dedicated to high-performing broadband network, world-class network, high-speed, exclusive network for Ventura County Library System schools and universities. One of 3 large county libraries joining this network this year. We are one of 3 in the state of California. The minimum of 100 times faster than the current service. It will be a technology boost that is just remarkable for the entire library system. It will offer lightning-fast download speeds of our collections, music, books, and films, and our maker space at Foster Library with 3D printing. Laser cutters and other equipment will be much more effective, and we anticipate to expand this program countywide to all of our libraries. We'll be able to stream story times and other programs from one branch to another, and to our websites providing families with on-demand programming. So the possibilities are endless, and it's exciting that our library is not just stepping into the 21st, they're rapidly moving into the decades ahead of technology advancement. The other thing we celebrated recently at the board is the 50th anniversary of the Channel Islands Harbor, and truly appreciate Councilman Doug Bree showing up with his shirt on to celebrate the Channel Islands Harbor 50 years. In 1965, we're celebrating 6 months of special activities for the rest of the year, celebrating the 60s. So you'll hear lots of festivities going on and opportunities to go down and play at the Channel Islands Harbor. It has become one of the largest recreational harbors in California. It includes over 300 acres of land and water. And so June 20th through July 10th, the Maritime Museum will display historic harbor photos of the Channel Islands along with photos of the recent renovation. So again, join us. Festivities will be lots of fun. Let me give you a quick dredging update. And this is another cause to celebrate. Lots of pain and agony over the last on this, but last year we celebrated the completion of the largest dredge in the history of the Los Angeles district at Channel Islands Harbor, and that's the Army Corps of Engineers district. Over 2.25 million cubic yards of sand were dredged. The county is already working and focused on the next dredging cycle in 2016-17. Lynn Krieger, our harbor director, has already been in Washington. We have a great relationship now with the Army Corps. And Congresswoman Julie Brownlee, again, doing just a stellar job for us, making sure we protect that investment. The water bill passed, but it's still increasingly clear that there's very little funding for infrastructure and for our ports. And Congress really has to get a better handle on that, and I'm sure they will continue to work. We're not the only port, obviously, in the nation, and we're not the only small port, and small ports struggle. And there needs to be a nationwide support shown and infrastructure support for the small ports. So we know that this 2016 will be an election year. We have significant changes. Senator Boxer is not running. Congresswoman Lois Capps is retiring. And Janice Hahn, who comes out of the LA area, but she led the Port Caucus. So she's changing positions. So we'll have opportunities to make sure we continue to stay on top of that. Obviously can't end this without talking a little bit about the tragedy of the oil spill to our neighbors to the north and how that has impacted our beaches. If it's not sand, it's something else at the start of the summer season. Unfortunately, we're seeing those little pesky tar balls. And May 19th, there was an estimated 100,000 gallons of oil released into the ground and ocean at the Refugio State Beach. On May 27th and 28th, there were reports of unusual quantities of tar balls impacting our beaches. And so there was an immediate, the Sheriff's Office of Emergency Services responded, and they pulled together the teams that we do in emergencies, and they started to activate the shoreline cleanup, the assessment technique teams that conducted cleanup crew assessments, sample collections, and cleanup along the entire coastline. On Friday, June 5th, all of Ventura County beaches have been cleaned to pre-spill levels. So they really got right on this, and it definitely made a difference. Now, we also know there's a natural seep that does occur that comes from the ocean floor whenever there's some movement down there. So, you occasionally do see oil on the beaches, but obviously this was much more than that. So anyway, it's been cleaned up. It's great for the remainder of the summer. Obviously, lots of work yet being done with the Congresswoman and others to try to get down to the root cause and do what's needed to make sure it is fixed. And I think what we're going to see is legislation that's going to call for further inspection and commitment by the oil companies, particularly those who have systems that are connected to our coastal communities and to the ocean, to try to ensure that there's we won't face this again, i.e. shut-off valves, pipes that are so old they need to go in and replace them. Do some good housekeeping with an industry that has a responsibility. Okay, another exciting thing, name the channels. It's called Drain Renaming Contest. You get to vote until June 22nd. If you weren't aware of this, this is a positive effort in our community through our Watershed Protection District and the public, who asked that we look at renaming 2 drains, and that's the J Street Drain and the Oxnard Industrial Drain. Why are we doing this? Well, 1, they feed to the ocean, and 2, to educate the public that it's so important that these drains aren't dumping grounds, that these drains are part of our environment and part of the habitat that really provides a quality of life for us, but also protects our ocean, our sands, our beachfronts. So during phase 1 of the J Street Drain project, the county received a number of comments regarding the need to rename these drains. So we launched this project, and voting takes place via the Ventura County Public Works Agency's Facebook page until June 22nd. It's an electronic survey, and it is to, again, raise the awareness of the watershed systems, the functions and the values of why these channels are there, and that is a part of the county meeting and stormwater permit obligations to be able to do this community outreach also. So we'll have lots, I'm sure, lots of creative names. You see some ideas that have already been put out there. There is a committee that includes Supervisor Zaragoza and myself, a representative of the Chumash community, a student from the university, and others who will then have the tough job of saying, okay, which one got the most votes, which one will be most appropriate to be a part of the community and to really change that. It's important to do. So wrapping this up, and I hope I haven't gone too long. Okay, good. When you think of what's the opposite of start, it's usually stop, but I'll say it's finish. And a finish line is the beginning of a whole new race, and I'm in the 18-month finish line, race to the finish. And I commit to you that I will continue to work hard, work efficiently, work smartly, and really focus on one of the couple things I'd really like to see finished while I'm sitting in this seat serving you, the public. What would you like me to focus on and really finish this up? So, and I'll look forward to talking to you next year to tell you how close am I to that finish line. Open for any questions? I didn't cover it all, I'm sure. Carla?
Well, Supervisor Long, I just want to say thank you for this amazing report and your great service. The county has gone through incredible changes over the years, and your leadership has been key there. So thank you.
Thank you.
And likewise, not a question, but you're much too modest. Your role in promoting the Boys and Girls Club and the outcome that occurred is largely owed to you. Your support and being upfront and personal on that matter made a difference. And likewise with the dredging and of severe erosion and getting the record operation this past cycle was. But you got 18 more months, and I got a few more initiatives I like to talk to you.
They have to have a beginning and a finish. You know, folks will say, well, your work's not done yet. Well, work is never done when you're working for the public because it's not a static environment. There's always issues, old, new, long-term, short-term. So it's not. But there have the reason I have stayed in local government for 20 plus years. Actually, I've been serving local government for 35 years, starting from my service in Michigan. Just because I like to see things that have a start and a finish, and the value of adding to the community. Those good things.
Thank you.
All right. You want to get coffee now?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.